कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In the news tonight, COVID-19 unemployment benefits extended. Government backs idea of a large Fijian-owned bank. And report reveals lack of support for female politicians.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Edwin Nunn.
Villamina, Fiji. State-funded COVID-19 unemployment benefits, which were to end on the 16th, have been extended for an additional 5 fortnights. Minister for Economy A.S. Syed Qayyum confirms this will be channeled through the Fiji National Provident Fund. However, the scheme is also being reviewed to weed out those taking advantage of benefits meant for the unemployed. The fortnightly payments of $220 will be more targeted this time around to ensure it goes to those in genuine need.
There's one particular family where there are 4 people in the family, a mother, father, a brother, sister. They're all picking up $220 a fortnight. So they're getting $880 a fortnight.
With 85% of beneficiaries covered entirely by the government, Syed Qayyum believes some have become too dependent and aren't actively looking for jobs.
We are working together with FNPF to actually ascertain where people are perhaps maybe, being disincentivized or how they're being disincentivized. So we're looking at new mechanisms as to how we can actually stop if there's any abuse.
The scheme covers unemployed individuals and those on reduced hours, and Syed Qayyum suggests a household income test may be more appropriate to identifying who deserves the funding. The government has allocated $100 million for the unemployment benefit scheme. The government is in favor of a local bank having the largest footprint in the country. This comes as FBC News has established that HFC Bank and Fiji National Provident Fund are looking at acquiring the Westpac Bank's Fiji operations from Kina Securities. Westpac Banking Corporation sold its Pacifica, including Fiji, to Kina Securities based in Papua New Guinea last year. Kritika Kumar reports.
Economy Minister Syed Qayyum says whether it's HFC or any other institution buying Westpac's Fiji operations, it benefits the economy.
But from an overall economic perspective, we would like to see a 100% owned bank in Fiji have a much larger share of the market.
Economy Minister says countries with robust financial institutions or banking systems have fairly large 100% domestic-owned banks, because determinations on risk are always made by the head office.
And if your head office is sitting outside of Fiji, in Paris or Port Moresby or Melbourne, Sydney, Auckland, or sitting in Mumbai or Delhi, the way that they will view risk in Fiji will be very different to HFC, which is based here, viewing risk in Fiji.
Syed Qayyum says the National Bank of Fiji was a substantial market player within the banking system of Fiji. However, it was lost due to the mishandling of the NBF saga. He adds home finance has come into play.
It's owned by the FNPF and the Unit Trust of Fiji, but they have a small portion of the market.
FBC News has sent questions to Kina Securities and the FNPF. However, HFC Chief Executive Rakesh Ram says he is not aware of any such discussion regarding Westpac Bank's Fiji operations. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
There will be no increase in tariffs as a result of Energy Fiji Limited selling 44% of its shares to an international firm. Minister for Economy A.S. Syed Qayyum confirmed yesterday that EFL is on the verge of confirming the deal, with an announcement to be made shortly. Dipesh Kumar reports.
The partial divestment of shares will not see Fijians paying more for electricity because of mechanisms to control the tariff.
At this point in time, we are in very deep and almost conclusive negotiations with a partner that is very much keen to participate in the divestment process. Government, of course, as we've said, will hold on to 51% of EFL.
The Economy Minister says EFL is close to a conclusion of negotiations with an international buyer, but the government will still own 51% of EFL. He says the investor has a proven track record in the energy sector and will bring renewable energy capabilities as part of the deal.
We are very excited about this one particular company that brings a lot of international savvy, international expertise, and they have the ability to attract international capital to this particular, divestment process. And also, should they cross the line and we have this divestment in place, then we think that EFL will be, very much complemented by this new partnership.
The minister revealed that the Fiji National Provident Fund also has the option to sell its shares in EFL if an attractive offer is made. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
Attorney General A.S. Syed Qayyum has rubbished claims that he chartered a flight to Singapore for his medical treatment. Syed Qayyum left Fiji on a Fiji Airways flight. Speaking to FBC News from Singapore, the minister says claims that he chartered a flight are baseless and mere conspiracy theories. He's also confirmed that airline tickets were paid for by him personally and no taxpayers' funds were used.
So they seem to be having very vivid imaginations and conspiratorial type of stories or thinking. They're not really contributing to the country. And they obviously don't seem to have an understanding, or they have not tweaked to how the Fiji First government operates under the leadership of a prime minister. We obviously very much built on having proper accountability and transparency.
A research report on violence against women in Parliament was launched today, covering Fiji, Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. Following the launch, parliamentarians Andi Selai, Andi Maitonga and Lenora Ngerengere Tambua shared their experiences, both saying words used during parliamentary sessions are sometimes concerning. Apanisa Wangairandovo reports.
The Assistant Minister for Itoke Affairs says she has experienced verbal attacks in Parliament but has found a way to overcome them.
I believe that to be strong, I don't have to adhere to that or listen to them, just to go forward. But then it hurts my ego too. It hurts my feelings.
National Federation Party MP Lenora Ngerengere Tambua says it is important for parliamentarians to use the right choice of words during debates.
There are people in Parliament who talk about, speaking against women and violence against women. But then in some contributions, there is personal attacks against women.
Minister for Health, Dr. Ifiremi Wanganambete, in acknowledging work by women parliamentarians, says he takes very seriously any attempts of violence against his female staff.
Our women and girls are targeted at home as well as in the workplace, in schools, hospitals and universities, in the street and online. I take it very personal when our staff that are women are targeted in the workplace.
The survey report has revealed that Fiji is among the highest performing countries in the region for women representation in Parliament, and following the 2018 general election, it has raised its global ranking to 114. Apenisa Wangarandovu, FBC News.
And Apanisa joins us live now. Apanisa, I believe the research has found that many female politicians don't get the support needed.
Edwin, the report has also revealed that most candidates lack support from other women. It goes to say that the absence of women supporting women is being raised as throughout the interviews by a number of women who took part or participated in this interview. That being said, it says that the network of support makes it difficult for women to independently raise funds for campaigns, particularly in traditional communities whereby women are not allowed or disapproves for them to raise or collect money. Also, meanwhile, until last year, Fiji made a difference in terms of participation of women in Parliament, whereby 12 or 51 seats were taken up by women in parliaments. In 2014, Fiji had its first women Speaker of Parliament, who is also the second for the region. Thank you.
Naka Penisa. Up ahead, PS economy resigns to pursue new challenges, and more schools receive donations from RFMF.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Welcome back. A database on human trafficking cases in Fiji is expected to be rolled out soon. With different authorities having their own data, the plan is to digitize and store all statistics together. Felipe Naikaso has the details.
Statistics on human trafficking in Fiji are hard to find due to the lack of targeted research and data collection to date. However, that's expected to change soon.
Our software engineer has been going to key stakeholders, trying to collect data, how best we can approach this, the design, the development, the testing before we can launch it. It has to be thoroughly tested.
Once the database is online, the relevant authorities have been urged to continue feeding information into the system. A key feature for the database is that once a stat is entered into the system and later deleted, the system will pick it up and also identify the person who deleted it.
It does not necessarily mean that you come to the ministry and you enter your data. No. You can remain in your respective areas and just access it online.
Good morning, all. The participants have also been urged to engage in constructive discussions, share their opinions and best practices during this countering human trafficking training.
You all play a vital role in our efforts to combat human trafficking as a nation. The training today will provide you with the necessary skills, indicators and knowledge to be able to restore the human rights of victims who had been trafficked.
With an increase in migrants coming to our shores for employment or to invest in the economy, it's critical that the relevant authorities identify possible cases of human trafficking. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Rear Admiral Villamina Poto will continue as commander of the Republic of the Fiji military forces for the next 3 months before he retires from the post. Now, Poto's contract as RFMF commander officially expires today after almost 6 years from his initial date of appointment. Rear Admiral Poto has a distinguished career in the military, having joined in 1982 and served in the Fiji Navy. He was Commander Fiji Navy before being seconded to the civil service in 2007. He shared news of the extension of his contract with Fiji Navy sailors on board the RFNS Savenada yesterday, citing the highlights of his career.
One of the highlights of my tenure is, seeing females join the Navy and seeing how we have moved on from the Navy that I knew when I joined. Not only that, even seeing that the Navy has a Navy band now makes me proud.
The Commander RFMF is appointed by the President on the advice of the Constitutional Officers Commission. Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Economy, Makareta Conrote, has resigned. The Public Service Commission in a statement says they've accepted Conrote's resignation. Her resignation comes into effect from the 15th of March. She plans to apply her economic expertise to take on new challenges in the near future. Sri Gounder, the head of fiscal policy and former head of Treasury, will act as Permanent Secretary for Economy from March 16th. Up to 700 school children in the Western and Northern Division will benefit from the Republic of the Fiji Military Forces donation of sandals and uniforms. The donation drive was initiated last year and had several companies and all RFMF personnel contribute to assisting disadvantaged students this year. Eleanor Turangai View has more.
This week, around 250 school children from Kia, Tavea, Ngaloa, Yanganga and Yandua Island in Vanuatu received new uniforms and a pair of school sandals from the Republic of Fiji Military Forces.
We are thankful to the government and the Fiji Military Force for lending a hand and assisting our children with their school needs.
The donation was made possible through the RFMF's charity drive at the 2020 Sukuna Bowl, in which almost $100,000 was raised, along with personal contributions from all members of the RFMF, which totaled $20,000.
Our calculation is that we can reach about 700 children. We are doing 250 approximately here in Vanuatu. We are moving across to the west next week.
The RFMF is also now looking to assist school children with their lunch.
We found out there are also some kids who are coming to school with no lunch, so we are also sponsoring a number of students for their lunch for term 1.
The donation was initially targeted for children whose parents were made redundant due to COVID-19. It has now been extended to children in the northern maritime communities affected by tropical cyclone Yasa. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Time now to turn to business with Whitney.
Thanks, Edwin. Coming up in business tonight, coffee shop goes local as part of rebranding. And product diversified to target international markets. Stay with us.
Bola, alang gonoa, ilutoka, butalita ka ng Bola FM, bertini nambang 2 NSR.
Bola FM, nambang 2 NSR.
Poto Coffee, a well-known coffee shop in Suva, has rebranded as Mana Coffee and will now use Fijian-made beans to support the local coffee culture. Mana Coffee director Moore Fisher says previously they used coffee beans from a New Zealand-based company but have now signed an agreement with Nandi-based South Pacific Coffee. Dipesh Kumar reports.
Like any other business, Mana Coffee also has its share of struggles with the ongoing COVID-19 crisis.
COVID has been hard for everybody, and we are very grateful that the Suva market is still quite vibrant, and we should never ever take that for granted because others are hurting more.
Fisher says keeping this in mind, they've launched their flagship cafe with a new identity, this time going local.
We would love to now provide customers with options, and that's something that will be ongoing with South Pacific Coffee. People talking about how we can provide maybe single origin options for our customers. A bean that's from Africa or Papua New Guinea or Vanuatu. So we're looking forward to doing that sort of thing.
Co-director Darren Bentley Fisher says the cost of importing coffee has always been a challenge.
We had a coffee supplier out of New Zealand who's been fantastic. Unfortunately, due to COVID, prices kept increasing, especially freight prices, and for us it made perfect sense to go local rather than import.
Mana Coffee currently employs 27 people and has 2 outlets in Suva. Even in these challenging times, Mana Coffee has managed to stay afloat and there are plans for extension. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
People can expect good food at this Saturday's Today FM System Family Market Day. 27-year-old Nathaniel Volavola, the owner of Taco Boy, who specializes in Mexican food, is one of the many vendors who will be part of the event. Starting his own business at a young age, Volavola says the platform will guide him to move in the right direction.
I'm just used to working in 5-star resorts and all these things. That's where I get most of my experience and able to learn a lot of things. So right now, since the borders are closed, I had a choice just to look on how doing business.
Sharon from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the money market.
Good evening. Been quite an interesting day in the currencies market today. Stats coming out of Australia showed the country posted its biggest monthly trade surplus in history. The trade balance of goods and services came at a record $10.1 billion in January and was up more than $3 billion compared to December. The Kiwi also regained a bit of ground today, together with the rising demand for New Zealand commodities. Traders say the Aussie and Kiwi are likely to continue rising because both economies are rebounding strongly from the COVID-19 pandemic and they will both benefit from an acceleration in global trade. And in the US, the markets are keeping an eye on employment data and speech by Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell tomorrow. Investors are anxious to see if Powell expresses concern about a recent sell-off in treasuries and if there is any change in his assessment of the economy before the Fed's next meeting ending March 17. And that's all from your HFC Bank for now.
Here are the local exchange rates as set early this morning. The Fiji dollar was on the rise against our two major trading partners today, the Aussie and Kiwi dollars. It lost ground against the other international currencies we cover. Commodity prices were mixed. Oil prices rose $1, closing at $61 per barrel. Gold dropped to close at $1,711 per ounce. And silver was down a few cents to close at $26.12 an ounce. Due to an increase in papaya and pineapple production, the agriculture sector is now packaging them as dried fruits for the international market. The production has increased to 4,000 and 7,000 metric tons respectively. Agriculture Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says the commodity will greatly help farmers and will also help generate income for the sector. The newly launched dried pawpaw and pineapple candy will also be available in our local stores.
Agro-marketing authority and also food processors for continues expanding and processing and evaluating our primary commodities into products so that we can expand and grow the market, get new people, new generation, and also push this product into new geographical space.
And that's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thank you and good evening. Ahead in sports, 2021 World Series schedule released. And Fiji football teams up with Digicel. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The Fiji 7 side will not play in any World Series tournaments this year until after the Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan. As of last night, Fiji's premier football competition is now known as the Digicel Premier League. This after Digicel Fiji sealed a 3-year deal with the Fiji Football Association worth $2.85 million. Tali Materukula has more.
The official handshake confirming the partnership and Digicel now owning the naming rights of all FIGFA competitions, including futsal.
With this sponsorship, we do not only get the senior leagues and the premium content, but we also participate in the development of football in Fiji. We are going to be part of the primary and secondary school competitions. We are going to be part of the regional club championships. We are going to be part of the futsal championship.
The sponsorship trickles right down to each district.
Districts have always benefited with FIGFA. We start there for their Premier League and everything. We give them $5,000 each to start preparing and everything. They'll still continue to get it. And even the under 19, under 16, we pay for the coaches, we pay for the players, we pay for the transport and everything. So this will enhance and everything and get it bigger and better with the Digicel.
Patel says both parties will benefit from the deal.
Goes beyond, it goes with our digital upgrading and everything too, and our networks and all those things, which Digicel will be a partner there too. So very soon all the districts and everything, if they want to correspond with FIGFA, they'll be using Digicel. And this is something that FIGFA has to give something in return back to the sponsors for the league.
The senior competitions is now known as the Digicel Senior Men and Women respectively. The Super League is now called the Digicel Super League, and the national teams are now named the Digicel Men, Women and Under 16-19 respectively. Tali Materukula, FBC Sports.
Former national football striker Hosea Vakatalisau will be turning a new leaf in the Digicel Premier League this season. After being suspended from playing at all levels of football in 2017, Vakatalisau made a strong comeback last year for the Nanranga football team, guiding them back to the Premier Division. Now the 37-year-old Mba native plans to help his side remain in the top tier in years to come. Caroline Tabi with the details.
The journey to making it to the top has not been easy for Hosea Vakatalisau, but he persevered through it.
What has made me change is to work hard. Work hard during training time. Working hard, it pays off during a game.
Now Vakatalisau wants to impart what he has learned over the years to the younger players in the squad.
It's nothing more, I'll just offer my experience to them. And they've been training well with our coach and our coaching staff. We've been training so hard so that we can be competitive during the games in the Super Premier.
Despite the unfavorable weather condition in the Western Division, the Nandi football side is ready to battle against Nandronga.
Because we have many new boys in the team, only some experienced players there, but I think we are ready for the game.
Nandronga will feature in its first Premier League match against Nandi at Lawanga Park in Singatoka on Sunday at 3 p.m. Karleni Tavi, FBC Sports.
Kelechi Iheanacho stepped up superbly in the absence of a number of injured teammates to earn Champions League chasing Leicester a potentially important 1-1 draw with Burnley. Ronald the Terminator Naidu has sent out a strong warning to Nathan Singh ahead of their much-anticipated fight in the South Pacific Boxing Promotion event in Nandi. Naidu, who's joined a new boxing club based in Denarau, says he will teach the Hornet a thing or two about boxing at Prince Charles Park on the 20th of this month. Felipe Nakaso has more.
The hard-hitting Ronald Naidu says that he has heard from a lot of people that Singh has been trash-talking him on social media.
Let the dog bark, but he'll know me on 20th March. He's gonna like me. Saying a lot about me, and I hope he's gonna come prepared for this fight.
The 29-year-old, who has fought 18 times, has a record of 10 wins, 5 losses and 3 draws. Naidu says he will do the talking in the ring.
You have a good trainer, his father is a well trainer in Fiji boxing, but this time he made the wrong guy.
A strong message has also been sent out by his new camp to Nathan Singh.
Make sure you bring an ambulance from Suva, because this fight is going to knock you out. And this fight is going to teach you a lesson that never come from down and you want to challenge the professional boxers.
The two will fight for the super lightweight title of Fiji in a 10-by-3 contest. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
The Australian government's Pacific Sports for Development program, Team Up, was launched by Minister for Youth and Sports Parvin Bala and Australia's Deputy High Commissioner to Fiji, Paul Wilson, at Albert Park today. The first phase of the program will see 6 sporting federations receiving support from the Team Up initiative. Villamina has more.
The minister believes sports continues to rake in revenue and must be strengthened.
The Team Up program supports a number of Australian sport partners in Fiji with a strong focus on gender and disability inclusion, ensuring that women and girls can enjoy all the benefits of sports.
Bala says they will continue to focus on policies and secure more partners.
To add to our efforts to maximize the benefits of investing in sports and addressing the rich contribution sport can make on the nations and the nation building.
Australian Deputy High Commissioner to Fiji, Paul Wilson, has assured that his government will continue to deliver programs in schools and communities.
Team Up's about supporting sports programs that attract and retain women, girls and people with disabilities, as well as men and boys.
Team Up is one of several sporting programs driving the Australian government's implementation of the Sports Diplomacy 2030 strategy that supports sporting organizations, athletes and the Pacific community through sports. Venina Rakautonga, FBC Sports.
Lomeri is leading the Super Zone 2 girls division with 4 gold, while Maris Brothers High School leads the boys division with 1 gold. The Super Zone 2 competition ends tomorrow. Now to play of the day, and the Phoenix Suns recorded their first victory over the Los Angeles Lakers since 2017 with a 114-104 win last night. That's it from Sports Tonight and New Media. Samsung considers 4 U.S. sites for chip plant. This and more coming up.
We love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Cloudy conditions with occasional showers were experienced over most parts of the country today. In the west, mostly breezy and cloudy conditions prevailed, followed by some showers late in the afternoon. From Pacific Harbour to Suva, it was sunny in the morning, followed by showers, some heavy at times. And in the north, a passing morning shower, followed by a thunderstorm in parts of the Northern Division. At sea, moderate to fresh northwest to northeast winds, gusty at times, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 10:53 p.m., followed by low tide at 4:58 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:06. For tomorrow, occasional showers over most places, isolated thunderstorms and heavy falls mostly in the afternoon or evening. The outlook for Saturday, cloudy periods with some showers and isolated thunderstorms over most places. In Fijian Pulse, we ask, should rental car owners impose stricter procedures on customers?
I really believe so, and I strongly believe that we need to really provide some really strong policies.
I strongly believe more strict policies need to be implemented to ensure drivers are screened properly before hiring a rental car.
Rental hiring concept practice nowadays is becoming lenient. No wonder we have rental cars involved in road accidents.
More awareness is needed in this area, particularly young drivers and those drives rental cars without proper license.
In Weird and Wonderful tonight, watch these dancers perform a social distance silent tango in COVID-19 times. And recapping our main stories, COVID-19 unemployment benefits extended, government backs idea of a large Fijian-owned bank, and report reveals lack of support for women politicians. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, will you take the COVID-19 vaccine shot when it arrives in Fiji? Visit our FBC News website to answer. And to our shot of the day, the Ndreketi River Valley in Vanuatu captured beautifully. This is another contribution by Doe Miller. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our various social media accounts, including Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. That's your news this evening. I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe. Modema.
Hi, I'm Asalika and I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.